that everyone is here. Welcome to tonight's Flourish event. We're so glad you're joining us for an event of learning, inspiration, and connection. Building a personal brand isn't just about what you do, it's about how you show up, communicate your strengths, and create meaningful opportunities in your personal and professional life. Tonight, Emily will share practical insights, strategies to help you better understand your unique value, tell your story with confidence, and build a brand that feels authentic to you. Whether you're looking to grow in your career, expand your network, launch a passion project, or simply gain more confidence in how you present yourself, this is a welcoming space to learn, ask questions, and connect with fellow members. So settle in, grab a notebook, and get ready for your engaging conversation that will leave you feeling empowered to build a brand that's uniquely yours. Flourish events like these are made possible by our dues paying alumna. Your continued support keeps our programming vibrant, relevant, and full of connection. Tonight we will be hosting a giveaway for a couple lucky sisters. The terms and conditions of the giveaway are available on the event listing of the Kappa website. You must be present to win, so if we pull your name, please make yourself known in the chat or unmute yourself. Thank you so much. Before we dive in, let's get everybody warmed up and spread a little Kappa love with our first giveaway. We'll be giving away 2 cozy hoodies from Marin Made, Emily's clothing brand. Whether you're refreshing your wardrobe or looking for your next favorite go-to layer, this prize you will not want to miss. You'll see on the map a screen right now. Drop in the chat where you're joining us from tonight, your city or state, and watch it fill up with Kappas from near and far. I know we already saw earlier how this map is filled and we've got people everywhere. It's kind of crazy how everybody is just so spread out tonight. Even more people up in Chicago. I can't even click behind Carrie. I'm so sorry. Who else is in Chicago? We have Libby in Minneapolis. We have Jill in Peculiar, Missouri. Now that's a fun name for a city. We have Robin in Akron. We have Jeanette in Corona Del Mar, California. The other night, there weren't that many people on the West Coast. You guys are representing tonight. I can't even click who's behind Kristen, but that's just telling y'all how extended this map goes tonight. We love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. Oh my goodness, I think that it is time to pull our first winner. So there will be 2 winners. This was just one of the beautiful hoodies that I found on Emily's website when I was creating this. So anybody who gets this is gonna be, oh, right out the gate. Congratulations, Jill. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to email you tomorrow to confirm your mailing address so we can make sure we get this to you right away. I'm going to pull this next winner. I'm very excited for whoever it's going to be, these 2 lucky winners. Who's it going to be? Congratulations. Catherine Richardson, are you here? Catherine, are you here yet?
I'm here, but I won something at the wine thing, so you should spin again.
Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. That was really sweet of you. I'm going to spin again. Thank you. My goodness. I guess somebody else gets a lucky chance. My goodness. Congratulations, Janet Michaelis in Corona Del Mar, California. Congratulations. We'll also email you tomorrow to confirm your mailing address so that we can get you this hoodie right away. Okay, everyone, we're done with the first giveaway of the evening. It is now time. I'm so sorry. It is now time to pull our and talk about our first intro of the night, and it is going to be introducing our vibrant host for the evening, Emily, a sister from Purdue. Emily Brown is the founder of Marin Made, a fashion and lifestyle brand known for its pop-up retail experiences and strong digital communication. She began her entrepreneurial journey at 16 and later acquired and rebuilt a retail concept into what is now Marin Made. Through creative marketing, influencer partnerships, and social media strategy, she grew the brand to reach over 20,000 customers in its first year. Emily is passionate about telling young entrepreneurs build authentic brands, leverage digital platforms, and turn it into a real business. We're so grateful to have Emily with us this first season and cannot wait to begin our branding building session this evening. Now, before we hand things over, Emily, we wanted to share a snapshot of what fashionistas we have in the room tonight. Now, we asked our members when they get dressed, what do they aim for? We had 17.1% say that they are comfort first. We have 2.4% who said that they are trendy and bold. And then we have 36.6% who are effortless chic. And then we have 43.9% who are just depending on the day energy. So, Emily, you're stepping into a space full of women who are showing up tonight, eager to learn, grow, and invest in themselves. We're so grateful to have you here with us and are excited to learn from your experiences building Marin Made, growing your personal brand, and creating opportunities through authentic connection. We can't wait to hear your insights and start the conversation. Emily, the floor is all yours.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sophie. I am so excited to be here with all of you guys tonight. Truly, one of my favorite things is connecting with other Kappas, and I know it can sound cliche, but Kappa really does have a way of making a big world feel small. And funny enough, I was actually recently reminded of this in a super special way because after I was featured on the key or the cover of the key, the woman who actually awarded me my Kappa scholarship reached out to me, and we had never really connected beyond that. And she saw the feature and took the time to connect. And then it was amazing. She actually is a private pilot. She flew her plane out to Purdue to come and get lunch with me, and it was truly just such a special connection. And then, better yet, three women who were Kappas alongside my grandmother reached out to me as well and asked me to lunch, and we all shared stories and just kind of talked about my grandma's legacy and just the memories that she left behind. So it was truly just one of those moments that reminded me how special our sisterhood really is and how much Kappa is just so much bigger than a chapter and even a place on campus. It's truly a network of women who want to see each other succeed and celebrate each other's wins, and it really opens doors for each other along the way. So before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much for spending your evening with me. Um, and I'm sure we're all probably in the right room right now, everybody from comfort chic to trendy and bold, and depending on the day, I am all four of those. And so, um, just to introduce myself, I am Emily Brown, and I recently graduated from Purdue this last May. And kind of my story is when I was 16 years old, during the prime heat of COVID, I started a small boutique outside of my parents' basement. And at this time, I didn't have any investors, no business experience at all. I did not have a following, or honestly, I barely even had a plan. I truly was just a teenage girl who loved fashion and decided to try something with my free time. And what started as a side project eventually became Marin Made, a brand that has served over 20,000 plus customers and multiple retail locations and pop-up experiences, and ultimately has taught me more lessons than I could have ever learned. But I don't think tonight is truly about the boutique. It's about taking risks before you feel ready, and it's about confidence and even about failure and just balancing ambition with real life. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of talk you guys through my story. Okay, perfect. So when I say this was the coat closet in my parents' basement here on the left, and then on the right was my biggest accomplishment yet at the Keystone Fashion Mall in Indianapolis. And I saw in the chat, I think we do have some Indianapolis people. So I'm not sure if you've ever been to it before, but these are both of my babies. The one on the left, I love her dearly, and I love the one on the right as well. And so, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, who is Marin? And people always assume that she is a real person, but the truth is, Marin is not one person. She represents the girl that I wanted the brand to serve. And Marin is actually my middle name, and it's a combination of all of my great relatives' names, like Marion, Martha, Mary, and my parents kind of combined all these names together and came up with Marin. And I I kind of created this character for Marin, and she's this confident, creative, ambitious woman who isn't afraid to take up the space. And I love that that has kind of been the individual behind the brand. So back to the beginning, this was 2021, and this was my glamorous headquarters, as you might call it. And it was a closet in my parents' house. And so when I started Marin Made, I was still in high school, packing orders after class and or answering customer emails at night. I truly was doing everything all in one. And I think social media truly makes entrepreneurship look exciting, but the reality is that most success is built truly in these really boring moments, such as my late night orders, so many mistakes that I never even, cared to share with the world because, sometimes they feel embarrassing, but they truly built this brand to what it is today. And I think the biggest lesson I learned from everything was you do not need the perfect conditions to start. And so going back to 2021, this was kind of like that second wave of COVID, and my school had completely shut down. And my dad, he's an entrepreneur. Our grandparents and just a bunch of family members are entrepreneurs. And my dad had always said to me this quote of work for yourself and nobody else. And that has really stuck with me for a really long time. And I just knew that I wanted to do something on my own. And starting that at 16, definitely, I didn't know that at the time that that's what I was going to do, but I did a ton of research, looked up how to start my own LLC, how to register to pay taxes, because at 16 I had no clue that I even had to pay taxes, and then ultimately had to get the green light from my parents because being 16, they still had to sign off on a few different pieces of paperwork. So within that first year, actually, with just being self-taught and truly dedicating so much time to this company, I grew it to over 20,000 customers at 16 that first year. And it was truly a huge milestone for me just to know that, wow, what I built, I really can do this. And I did do this. And so, after wrapping up that first probably year and a half to 2 years, we sold Marin Made in all 50 states and then six out of the seven continents besides Antarctica, of course. And so it was just really one of the coolest moments ever. And with realizing that people were ordering from Marin Made in places that I had never been, and that these were really coming from all around the world. And the best one was I honestly had a ton of customers in Australia. And I still to this day don't really know why, but it's awesome to know that there's a ton of girls wearing Marin Made in Australia. So then this was phase two of Marin Made. The way that I looked at each year was I wanted a big significant milestone of each year. So that first year was the 20,000 customers, the selling in all of the states and the six out of seven continents. And I had moved on to phase two. And this was a collective style boutique in West Lafayette, Indiana. And when I say collective, I mean think of a big warehouse or like a general store space, a big one. And each person that was in there rented a 10 by 10 booth. But if you were to go in there, you would have no clue that each group is different. It's just, it's built to look cohesive. But it gives smaller boutiques and smaller shops the just the feel to be in a true retail location. And so the lady that owned it, I honestly truly loved the business concept because all of us paid rent to be there. She took a commission on the products, and I was like, wow, this is honestly super smart. And it was great. It was truly really great being there because it was honestly not a lot of hands-on work. So I really enjoyed doing this. And at the end of that year, I was like, what's my next milestone going to be? And with loving the concept so much, I was like, I'm just gonna see if she's maybe interested in selling her company. And happily enough, she was. So I purchased my first business at 18 and I took it over from what was once the 10 by 10 sections to now what is not Marin Made, but Marin and More. And this was like one of those moments everybody dreams about, the storefront. And I remember standing outside of it thinking like, wow, I actually did this. And it was great. I really, really loved it. And I loved being able to make it my own space. And I still had the other vendors inside the boutique as well. And I learned so much through this phase because this was truly like my first time running a business and also managing people inside of that. And I remember one of the kind of trickiest problems I had, being 18 was getting people to, I don't want to say understand me, but more so I felt like I was kind of getting looked down on sometimes just because I was younger. And I totally understand that because I'm sure we're all, guilty of that. And but it was kind of awkward because I was hiring girls who were either my age or older. And I'm also thinking to myself, how do I have the credibility to be be this person for everybody that's coming in, Marin and more. So definitely was a little bit of a mental challenge as well. But within that first year of doing that, I really loved the space, but the main thing that kept bothering me was I wanted it to just be my own. I wanted Marin made. I didn't want to have opinions from anybody else. I wanted to fully run everything myself. So that's what comes in my favorite location of them all. This was the Marin Made storefront. And truly with this location, I think like when I think about Marin Made, I do not think about the sales numbers first. I think about the people and the customers who wore our clothes to job interviews and all of those customers that come in. And this truly, like I said in the beginning, this was kind of like my baby. I built this honestly from the ground up. I spent countless nights, weekends, after classes, just going to the store and bringing my toolbox and truly building it. And obviously, with the help of my family as well, I couldn't have done it without them. But it was great. And I loved being in this retail location because this was one of the biggest malls in the area. And it was one of the nicer ones too. So it was really, really exciting. I had this location for about 2 years, and I had the best employees at this location as well. And I think like when I talk about community, I still keep in touch with some of those girls. They actually wrote recommendation letters for them for college, and it just was so special because it was crazy to me that I can be that person for somebody else. And so it was just a really special moment. And so I had this location. And unfortunately, one of the downsides to this was since I was a smaller store, they had me on like a year-to-year lease for like a small business program and to help get people just like their feet off the ground and get going into this business. But there's so many other big name brands like Free People, Nike, Altered State, and these stores, they sign 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 year leases just because they're so established. And I totally understand that because if I had the ability to do that, I would. But they wanted me to sign a 10-year lease. And at that stage, I hadn't graduated college yet, and I just didn't know where I was going to go and if that was really the right decision for me. And so I had to make the tough call and say goodbye to Marin Made at Keystone. But honestly, it didn't make me sad because it wasn't a failure. It was just a decision that I had to make for myself and for the business and bring her back to running online. But again, like I said, I have to have a big milestone. So with that, I took it out of the mall and moved to a tiny New York City pop-up shop system. And these are really big in New York City. In the summertime especially, they are just there's these very plain spaces. You work with a company and they help run your pop-up. So we you build it from the ground up in a day or two, and you bring all your branding. I shipped everything there, and we were able to do these amazing pop-ups and really collaborate with some of the big names in New York City and also just get my brand in a completely different environment as well. So it was very, very interesting just seeing all the different types of people that would come in and all of the different styles just because New York City is a major fashion hub. So it was just very, very interesting. And I think there's one thing that this slide represents. It's saying yes before you're ready. And I know I say this all the time, but I just noticed that a lot of people spend time waiting and waiting till they're older, waiting till they have more experience, waiting till you have more money, or even just wait until you feel confident. But truly, every major opportunity that I've had in my life is because I said yes before I felt ready. And honestly, same with tonight. I absolutely hate public speaking, but I'm all for saying yes to things just because you have to do that jump in order to, find that success and find that opportunity. And again, I love connecting with you guys, so I had to do this. And I think this kind of goes into some of the biggest failures that I had. And there's definitely a ton of them, but I'm going to give you my top three. So one of my favorite stories to tell actually is when I had the collective location, which was Marin and Moore. I had a employee stealing from me. And funny enough, it was, I think, about 2 weeks before I was closing it down and moving to the mall, the big mall. And it's Christmas Eve, and I get an anonymous message from just from somebody on a social media app. And they were like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I know that one of your employees has been stealing from you and also been giving items to their friends as well. And it's at least over $2,000. And my heart dropped. I just could not believe that. And I was like, what? Like the numbers, like are my numbers off? Like what happened here? So also, better yet, it was this employee's last day as well. And I will say I kind of had a feeling who it was. I don't like to be like that, but I had a little bit of a gut feeling. And so I'm like, how do I get her back in? Like how am I gonna fix this? So I told her that I had her employee Christmas gift for her and she needed to return her key because she had forgot to return her key. So I bring her in and I'm like, hey, we, have you on camera stealing from us, and I need everything back by 6 p.m. tonight. And I didn't know if she had taken any cash as well. So I was like, if you've taken any cash, bring it back too. And at this point, I am being very, very generous with just keeping this a civil conversation between us because she was younger as well. Comes in that next day, brings back $5,000 worth of items. And I just can't, I just couldn't believe it. And, it definitely did have a major impact on the business. And it was frustrating and heartbreaking because when you build something from nothing, it feels incredibly personal and kind of just like an attack at me. And I know that's probably not what she meant, but it taught me that trust matters and it taught me that systems matter as well. So we now have a ton of systems in place to where we will not let this happen again. Moving on to one of my next biggest fails was right in the beginning. I spent a lot of money on influencer marketing. And this is something that's becoming really, really big, especially right now. And I think when I started, it was kind of the start of it. And I would reach out to these famous individuals who have hundreds of thousands of following, just hoping that I would pay them to share my brand. And I finally got a response. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with the reality TV show Dance Moms, but I got a response from one of the girls on Dance Moms. And it was so exciting. I sent her about $100 to $200 worth of items. And all I asked was just a simple post kind of highlighting the brand and saying the products that she got. And unfortunately, again, with me being kind of young and naive in the beginning, and again, not having systems put in place, uh, she totally just kind of ghosted that conversation. And I was just $200 plus a little bit more down the drain. And I think again, it just kind of feels like a personal attack when you build something like this and individuals carelessly take advantage or just don't really care. And so again, it was a big learning moment, and we now have systems and especially contracts put in place when we do something like this. And again, but I think all this is just so important because it has taught me so many things, and I really believe in trial and error and failing in order to find that success. And I would say ultimately, um, my team, building a team has been a failure of mine because especially when I had the in-store locations, nobody is going to ever work as hard for your business as you're going to. And so it's really hard to find hardworking individuals and people that are not just showing up to clock in and clock out every single day. And I made a ton of hiring mistakes and trusted resumes over character and kept some people too long. And today I really care a lot more about just values and integrity and attitude than I really do about your overall experience. And I also think I'm really big on like letting younger girls join my team because I think today a lot of people won't hire somebody without, X amount of experience. And I'm always going to be there to give those girls that experience because there were so many people that did that for me as well. And then I think a lot of lessons that I learned a lot of like just throughout all of these different years of running Marin Made are balance, consistency, and risk. Balance, I still struggle with to this day, and it's just finding that work-life balance because I also work a 9 to 5 job too, so it's finding that time outside of that 9 to 5 and still dedicating time to the business, other side projects, family, friends. It's really hard. And anybody that says it's easy, they are lying. And then I think consistency is really big as well. And it kind of goes back to my balance. It's just having a structure and a plan. And it doesn't even have to be business related, having that workout routine or that special morning routine with your coffee or your tea that you do. And I always like to watch the Today Show. That's kind of part of my consistent routine. And I just think it's really important to have in your life. And ultimately, Marin Made would not be Marin Made without risk because the opportunities that changed my life, they really were almost always uncomfortable. And I just think I'm still learning and there's just so many things within risk that can really benefit you. And also, risk comes with failure, but again, I really think that is ultimately the main point of success. And so next up, people always ask me, what's next? And I think the truth is I'm still figuring it out. But this fall, I am actually moving to New York City, and I'm super excited. So we're definitely going to be doing more pop-ups there. We're still running online, and I'm still continuing my career in marketing, technology, and entrepreneurship. I would love to start more businesses down the line if I could free up some time in my day. And I'm just exploring opportunities in fashion, modeling, and brand building. And I'm just continuing to stay curious. And I'm going to continue to say yes to opportunities and continue building a life that just truly feels authentic to me. And so I will leave you guys with this. When I started Marin Made at 16, I really had no idea where it would take me. And at times, I was certain that it wouldn't work, and I wasn't confident and I wasn't ready. But I was simply curious enough to try. And I think that's something that we can all take with us. And you don't always need permission and you don't need all the answers. And you especially don't need to have your whole entire life figured out. And I think it just comes back to having enough courage to take the first step. And if Kappa has taught me anything, it's that incredible things happen when women support women. So whatever your version of Marin Made might be, whether that's business, career, creative project, or a dream that you've been putting off, I hope you give yourself permission to go after it. So that is Emily Brown and Marin Made.
Yay, thank you so much, Emily, for sharing all of that
Of
beautiful
course.
information and backstory to inspire everyone tonight and maybe inspire some good questions too, since we have a pro with us on building your own brand business. Sounds like you have a very large background in it. I knew a lot about you before this, obviously, but I feel like I learned a lot more and did not realize how many different avenues that you had been down specifically for Marin Made, which is incredible. Yes, Kathy, very interesting. So we are going to open the floor to Emily because I'm sure everybody has questions, and Emily is going to be so excited to answer them. I'm sure we also, if we want to, while people start to trickle on their questions, I pulled some of our questions that we noticed at registration that people had asked if it can get the ball rolling. So our first question that we received was, what would be your best advice for an aspiring fashion designer on how to begin? And what would you suggest?
Yeah, I would say like my main piece of advice, number one, I think there's so many different avenues to get into fashion designing, and it all can kind of come many different ways. I think number one, don't be closed off. I think something that I see a lot of people doing is if they don't get a job in the direct field that they want, they're not taking it. And I think if you can get even an inch in this very competitive niche industry, to take it. That would be my main piece of advice overall for that.
Hey, thank you. What is your milestone goal for this year?
This is a really good one. I think this one might be a little bland, but number one, the move to New York City is the biggest milestone of them all. And I think figuring out how to navigate Marin Made in New York City is going to be a challenge in itself because it's kind of like I'm starting all over. I've been at Purdue the last 4 years, but I'm also from West Lafayette as well. So I kind of knew the ins and outs. I was able to easily find an office space that was pretty affordable, and I knew the space, and it wasn't scary to me. And moving to New York is scary to me. So I think hopefully being able to take the year to navigate that and learn that new space and hopefully be able to like create some Marin Made events and more pop-up shops and work with some people out there. I think that is the milestone. I'm really immerse myself in New York City.
It does sound very exciting and quite the challenge, I'm sure. I am excited to hear all about that too and follow along with you. How do you find the items for Marin Made? Do you make or sew a prototype? Do you find suppliers overseas? Or how do you get that to work into your inventory?
hmm In the beginning, I strictly only sold wholesale. So this was a big part of my research project when I was 16, and it was kind of just like any other expensive boutique. I think about like these boutiques that I go to in Georgia. I have a lot of family down there, and the prices are crazy. And I see the brands, and I know exactly these brands because I buy from them all the time. So that's kind of where I started. You have to get this license called your Registered Retail Merchant Certificate. So you get that and you buy in bulk, so it's a little bit more affordable. But then I did end up starting working with a manufacturer overseas to produce our swimwear line. That was about 2 years ago, and that was great. But I ended up having a lot of we had a lot of content go viral, and with viral content does come a little bit of some hate comments. And so people were pretty bothered by the fact that things were being made overseas. So I took it upon myself to like let's figure out a way to have these made in the US. So I actually found a manufacturer in Georgia and Los Angeles who help create our products. And then we kind of work back and forth on designing. Like I will see something that I like, they give me some inspo, and then we kind of work from there on like fabric, stitching, sending back and forth just how different things fit.
Goodness, that's fascinating. Where do you work 9 to 5 and hope you continue your dreams in New York City?
Thank you very much. And so I work for a company called Profile. And to keep it simple, we do behavioral analysis on athletes. So I'd like to word it as we teach the coaches how to better individually coach each player. But we also teach those players how to interact with their coaches as well, because everybody responds differently to different situations. Some people like getting yelled at, and some people hate it. So I think that is a very layman's way of explaining what profile is.
Oh my goodness, you like do a touch of everything. That I was not expecting that. Um,
Uh,
have you connected with any international companies for product and did the tariffs impact your costs?
So this kind of goes back to the other question about the overseas and finding those different suppliers. I will say I didn't have any tariff issues. The only issue I did have was the United States stopped using like big shipping companies to ship to Australia. So like I said in the beginning, we had a ton of Australia orders. Like USPS, they stopped shipping to Australia. FedEx, there were some issues there. I think it's pretty much solved now, but it was a tough 6 months.
My goodness. Can you touch on the manufacturing part of the process? How did you do that in the beginning?
Yeah, so again, that kind of relates back to the question a few minutes ago, but let me think if I can add anything different to this one. I would say one of the toughest parts about the manufacturing process is the back and forth. So like it's summer right now, but we did summer planning months ago, and now we're working on winter and what's going to be coming in to style this winter. So, like jackets, long sleeve, long pants, and warmish gear. So it's just kind of interesting how ahead of the game you have to be in this world.
I can only imagine that is extremely challenging. What's your favorite item that you found or created?
This is good. Let me think. There's been a ton. We have done a ton over the last few years. But oh, actually, my favorite item from this year is this really cute red long sleeve sweater that has a Dalmatian on it. Because I'm kind of getting back into patterns. I think there was a time period where we did a lot of basics, but one of the main things that I love about Marin Made is that I like that we have a preppy feel to us and statement pieces. And that actually reminds me, if you go on the website and there's only a few items on there right now, it's because since I'm moving to New York, I'm trying to clean out all of my inventory. So I'm keeping it very limited right now.
That makes sense. I love the idea of the Dalmatian because I feel like spots are also really like in a full force moment right now I've been seeing. What is the size of your workforce and where do you spend most of your time in the business?
Mm. Well, I'll answer my questions for all of the different little side things I do. And so for Marin Made, it is just me right now. I've had employees in the past and they're great, but I can do it all myself. So I don't want to put, the money aside to pay more people. And also I need hands-on and there's just not that many people here at Purdue right now, especially in the summer. Um, for the other company I work for, it's a smaller startup company as well. There's about 15 to 20 employees, and I do a lot of like marketing and client engagement for them, and that takes up a great portion of my day.
Or you sound extremely busy. I pulled a question from registration that I think is fabulous. I'm in my early 30s and work 100% remotely. I'd like to adopt a wardrobe that's comfort forward, but still makes me feel put together. When I try shopping for clothes online, though, I get overwhelmed. Where would you suggest they start?
Getting overwhelmed is totally relatable because I have been going on a lot of fun trips. I went to Japan a few weeks ago and I was told myself, well, of course, I need a new wardrobe for this trip. And it was so overwhelming. I truly did not know where to start. I personally love sticking to, I kind of like getting everything in one spot. So I like Nordstrom and Zara because I think on these websites, one of the big things I've noticed with Zara, the website seems impossible to navigate. But once you get it, you get it. And so kind of one of the ways that I navigate it is I will click on an item that I like, scroll down to the suggested for you. And then I really just work from there because if I like one piece, I'm bound to probably like something else that is similar to the one I'm looking at and kind of keep going from there. So open up a new tab, scroll to the suggested of that next item. And I have found that to work very well. And I also think knowing when to stop because when you're online there are so many different stores you can shop at and there's so many just different pieces, so I think just knowing when to stop, you get your 7 days worth of items and then you call it there. But I also, another thing I do like is having some fun statement items, so it might not be within the outfit but having a fun purse or a fun accessory like some bangles or some cool shoes. I think that can really make an outfit just more special.
100%. I also totally agree with the Zara thing. I get very overwhelmed anytime I'm navigating their website or app, but the suggested is definitely helpful.
Very,
Um, another question from registration was, how do you stay ahead of fast fashion? So sorry, Paris. I'll
yeah.
come to your question next.
I know it's very difficult just because so many stores are considered fast fashion, and I think Zara is as well. And I honestly don't feel like I stay ahead of it because there's always a new fast fashion company coming. They are they really just kind of take over and immerse themselves in the space. So if I'm being honest, that's a little bit of a struggle for me, and I don't really have a good answer. It's just I just have to compete and do what I do.
How do you like your manufacturers overseas versus within the country? Are there pros and challenges of each? And sorry, that might be a lot for me to keep. If you want to just do the first half and then I come to the second half, I should have read it before I asked it. So,
Totally. No, you're good. Honestly, I can answer all of it. Number one, everything has been done remotely. I've never had to go in person and see everything. Normally, things ship back and forth pretty fast because also you're ordering such in the end, you're ordering such large quantities that it is worth it for them to have that constant back and forth, like communication. Then overseas versus within the country, communication is a lot faster, but the products are more expensive. And I am willing to take the hit of things being more expensive to make things better for the environment and also to make my customers happy as well, just because that was a really like big kind of pivotal learning moment for me because I didn't know much about that. And but working with manufacturers overseas, definitely more affordable. And sometimes it's nice to have a different perspective too, just getting those eyes from people that see all different types of clothing as well.
Perfect. Have you ever had to go to them, or have you only done it remotely with your overseas and
Only
USA
remote.
partners? Fun. We also had another fun question of what advice would you give someone who's considering a new challenge, passion project, or career pivot later in life?
hmm I, again, this is just like kind of my biggest piece of advice from everything that I have learned. And I'm going to say number one, you have to be willing to take the risk and you have to be able to put yourself out there. One of the things that I really struggled with in the beginning was um, posting content of myself because it feels embarrassing. I was listening to myself talk on end. I actually have some videos I have to put together after this, and I'm probably going to cringe at my voice after listening to it 30 times. Um, but those videos were what got me those 20,000 customers within that first year. So I think taking the risk and you can't be embarrassed. You really have to be your true authentic self, which is hard. And I just think if you put yourself in the mindset to get there, you will.
Yeah. Robin said, I imagine it's hard to order the correct amount of inventory in different sizes. What do you do with your overstock?
Yeah, actually, I normally keep it on hand. This was a bigger problem for me when I had the in-person store, but I would just kind of put it on the sale rack. And I ended up, like, if there were things that were there for a while, we would do like a $10 Tuesday where everything was $10. And that seemed to get things out the door. But yeah, there was a lot of overstock, but it also was a very great learning moment for me because when there was a lot of excess, I realized what my customers liked and what they didn't.
I bet. How to feel put together, cute despite age and size.
Mm. This one is something I've actually really been trying to implement this summer because I work from home all the time. And so it's really hard for me to not want to put on a cozy outfit every single day. And I think it's just important to like when you're getting ready in the morning, put on something that doesn't make you feel bad about yourself. You know, put on something cute, even if it is some sweatpants and a sweatshirt, do your hair, clean yourself up. I think it really is just what's going to make you feel good. Some days I will get really dressed up for working out of the house and I feel just great. And I don't really know what it is, but it's just nice to feel put together. So even though it takes a few extra minutes in the morning, I think some days it's really helpful.
I have to agree. I also work remotely, so that question also was answering for me. Um, Carrie asks, is the brand targeted towards any demographic age?
I would say my target demographic in the beginning was like younger middle school girls to late 20s, but I'm kind of evolving the brand. And also, I've realized that I have people shop all ages. And sometimes my like analytics will be able to show me the age ranges of people shopping from me. And sure, those people are mainly in their like 15 through 30, but I always get so many different age groups and it's honestly really fun for me to see what every different age group is buying.
I bet. Our last question, in case, unless another one comes in, are there any Kappa values that are reflected in the culture you've built at Marin
Mhm.
Made?
This is great. I honestly love like bringing Kappa into Marin Made because I think my support system, I have a great group of like 10 girls. We call ourselves Team 10, and they were kind of the girls that I grew up with in Kappa. And they come and they support me and they show so much loyalty to me. I think that loyalty is huge because they've come to every grand opening event, every side gig that I've done, even some showed up in New York City. And it was truly just, it was really special. And they show that loyalty to me, and I will always show that loyalty to them as well.
Beautiful answer. What is, this is the last question. Sorry, this one's so good. What is your ultimate vision for the company?
hmm It changes every single year. Like last year, if you were to ask me, it would be to have re multiple retail locations all over the United States. And now I think it's more so I kind of want to build it into a large online brand and maybe even take it into doing other things as well. One of the ideas that I actually had was to start a like an energy drink company or even like just like a fun drink company because I've been seeing a lot of these online, even just like infused waters, just cool things like that. So I've thought about doing kind of some spin-offs on Marin Made, and I think that vision right now is changing constantly.
I'm very excited to see you. It's very
Yeah, so stay
exciting.
tuned. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but
Definitely.
Ooh,
Oh my
Shark Tank,
goodness.
that is a good one.
Thank you so much, Emily. That was
Oh, two
incredible.
Shark
Oh,
Tanks.
yeah. Have you ever considered Shark Tank? Oh, yeah. There are two
Wow.
questions about you joining Shark Tank.
No, I haven't. I'm kind of scared of Shark Tank.
My goodness.
I think it would be fun, but I see all of these. I actually am an avid Shark Tank watcher, and I don't know if I can take it. I definitely would need to come very prepared.
I think you would do great. I think Marin May would be perfect. I think this is time to start getting wrapped up, everyone. And thank you so much, Emily, for being so open and sharing. And I hope everybody walked away feeling inspired. We're so grateful you shared your time, experiences, and insights. It's been a fun and inspiring conversation. To wrap up the evening, it's time for our final giveaway. Tonight's prize is a Marin Made bundle featuring a dress from Marin Made and a $30 gift card. Thank you so much for your generosity, Emily. We really appreciate it. We know somebody's going to win. I'm going to be so jealous and it's going to be so beautiful. So, to enter, please tell us in the chat in one word, how are you feeling about your next big idea after our conversation with Emily tonight? Excited? Me too. Me too. Inspired. Definitely inspired. Oh, four inspireds.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, even more. Everybody's feeling inspired, hopeful, ready for it. Another inspired, ready, inspired, motivated, energized, inspired, powerful, passionate, inspired. Sounds like you inspired a lot of people, Emily.
Oh, yay! That makes me so happy.
Us too. I feel like this is a good time. Oh, one more creative. That's a good one, definitely. Another inspired. These were all such fantastic feelings, guys. I'm happy everybody felt that way after our conversation. The winner is Carmen Gardner. Are you here, Carmen? Let's see. I'll give you a second in case you want to unmute yourself. I'm going to pull another. I think somebody else needs to deserve a chance to win. Isn't this such a pretty dress? I pulled it off of Marin Made. Congratulations, Caitlin Snyder from Cincinnati, Ohio. Congratulations. Yay. Thank you, Caitlin. Yay. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. What a fun way to end the night. Caitlin, I'm going to make sure to email you tomorrow to confirm your mailing address. What a fun night, as I already said. Definitely building your brand was exciting with Emily. Thank you. Take the time to reflect on how we show up, share our stories, and intentionally build our personal and professional brands. Made for such a meaningful Flourish gathering. The energy, curiosity, and engagement throughout the evening are exactly what make this community so special. Again, a huge thank you to Emily for leading us through such a thoughtful and empowering experience. Emily, your insights, authenticity, and practical approach to building a personal brand made this conversation feel approachable and impactful for everyone here. We're so grateful you shared your time and expertise with us tonight.
Thank
And
you
thank you.
guys.
Yes, Thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. We hope you leave feeling inspired to take small, intentional steps towards building your brand, sharing your story with confidence, showing up as your most authentic self in whatever you pursue next. These events are made possible by our dues paying alumna, and your continued support allows us to keep creating engaging, joy filled experiences like this one. Our July events will kick off with a color analysis led by Libby Vidlanek on July 14th at 8 p.m. And we then also have a book club with Joan O'Leary. It's a killer wedding. It's fabulous. And that will conclude on July 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. You're not going to want to miss any of these events. You'll find all the links to the upcoming events in the chat, the Flourish landing page, and on the Kappa website, so be sure to save your spot. With that, good night, sisters. Thank you so much, Emily. It was so great getting to do this special event and have everybody be inspired tonight by you.
Bye, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.